Good afternoon, everybody. So welcome to the MOHRE Open Day. So we just let people to come in first. Probably in 5 minutes time, we'll start the session. All right, I think we shall start now for those who have come early, so that we respect everybody's time. Right. So good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to the Master of Health Research Ethics, or what we call as MOHRE. What we call as MOHRE, right? Open Day. And so I am Associate Professor Dr. Julia Petra Inkasan, and I'm the Program Coordinator of MOHRE. And by profession, I am a rehabilitation physician, right, from the Department of Rehabilitation Medicine in STEAM layer. So I'm a clinician, and I deal, by nature of my work, I deal mainly with people with disability. So the purpose of today's Open Day is to mainly tell you, inform you, give some information about MOHRE, right? The program, as well as the scholarship opportunity, right? And I have my team with me here, right? So I'd like them to introduce themselves, right? Maybe on top of my screen, it start with Norizan. Dr. Norizan?
Hello, Assalamualaikum, and very good afternoon. I am Norizan, currently working in Ministry of Health. Thank you.
Right. So and then I have May, secondly.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm May from the Philippines. I'm one of the
Oh, May.
graduates of the MOHRE, currently working in PPDS CRA. Thank you.
So there is a bit of the break, May, when you when you were introducing yourself. So May is a MOHRE alumni.
Sorry.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
And I'm from the Philippines.
Yep. And you will hear from her more a bit later. Yes, Nisha.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nisha. I am the MOHRE program manager of the Secretariat. So I help Prof. Julia to actually manage and oversee the implementation of the program. So good to have you all.
Yes, Steve.
Hi, I'm Tivia, and I basically help both Nisha and Dr. Julia to help manage this program. It's great to meet all of you, and I hope that I could see some of you during this October event.
So I will start with a presentation, and then I will invite, once I finish my presentation, I will invite our alumni to share the experience on MOHRE and then how it has helped their research, their career, working career. And then we have a Q&A. I know that some of you have posted a question when you registered. So during my presentation, during the specific topic that I'm going to talk about, I will try to answer some of the question. All right, so basically this is what I'm going to talk about. Let me minimize this, right? So, yeah, so this is Nisha, you can see her, Nisha, and then this is, I'm going to tell you who is this. This is Prof. Ng Chek Jen. Prof. Ng Chek Jen was the MOHRE program coordinator, right? I only took over March this year. And this is also from Joseph Ali, Mr. Joseph Ali from John Hopkins or Berman Institute of Bioethics, right? So let's go. All right, why did we start MOHRE in the first place? Huh? Okay, as you all know that research is becoming more popular. There's increase in number of people looking for publication. People are giving research grant. And the same time, research is becoming more complex, right? We have new technology, we have the digitalization, so a lot of complexity in terms of research. So with the complexity, there are also complex research ethical issue, and researchers need guidance on how to recognize ethical issue when doing research, right? And they must be able, guided by the knowledge of research ethics, make appropriate decisions. The IRB, right? IRB or some of us know it has research ethics review committee. They are facing increasingly complex ethical issue, right? Because the trial are not as straightforward as how it used to be before, right? Therefore, there's a need to train both researcher and IRB in research ethics, so that we do not, it's very important for us to have a healthy, responsible, ethical research ecosystem. Otherwise, people will not believe in science anymore, right? So it's very important, because once people stop to trust in research, stop trusting scientists, they trust other things, and that can lead to disaster. Right, these are our research ethics stakeholders, right? So in the first row is mainly the research related institute. So this is taking into example Malaysia. We have Clinical Research Malaysia. We have Ministry of Health Clinical Research Center. This is CRO, or clinical research organization, and this is our own hospital, clinical investigation center. So we have the research center. We also have the Ministry of Education, because that's where all the education academia is going on, and also Ministry of Health, because we are talking about health research ethics. So Ministry of Health play a big role and great role in research ethics. We also work with NGOs, right? NGOs like UNCHR, UNHCR, WHO, and over here, because of the nature of the who started this, we work quite closely with Malaysian AIDS, Majlis AIDS Malaysia, or Yayasan AIDS Malaysia, right? MAC. All right, one or few of you asked what would be the future career pathway. What can we do once we have this qualification? Okay, so graduate of this program will have the opportunity to explore careers related to health research ethics. For example, research ethics review committee, because that is when you can actually directly apply your knowledge. Academician or lecturer. We hope that in the future, more and more people interested to teach about research ethics. Research unit in institutions. So a lot of institutions, for example, I give a lot in Malaysia, they will have a research arm in every hospital, in every university, in things in for example, we have cancer, for example, Cancer Institute in Singapore is very active into research. So all these institutions have a research unit, and you will find your place there, because all research need to go through and research ethics. Okay, we have clinical research centers, of course, research ethic accreditation body, where your job is to make sure that all the research, IRB, MREC, are all following the standard that has been set. And if you know about, have you learned of GCP? So we talk about Contract Research Organization. May will have probably can talk more about CRO, because she's very well connected, or she is working for one now. Yeah. All right, so what is MOHRE? Okay, so just a brief journey to share with you a brief journey of MOHRE. So in 2017, the discussion started about having this program, and the initiator applied for grant, NIH grant, and also applied for MQA, is Malaysian qualification accreditation. So this is a body that endorse or accredited academic program. And in 2018, we have our grant, received our grant. It was successful. We had Ministry of Education approval for MOHRE in January 2019, and we start our program, the first cohort, in 2019. So if you calculate from 2019 September until now, it is a 1 year, 10-month program. So it's pretty new. Okay, so what about MOHRE? Okay, so MOHRE is offered as a 1 year full-time program. I know a lot of you ask about part-time. Yeah, so I'm going to explain a bit more about part-time and what does this 1 year full-time program means in the next slide. Okay. So MOHRE aims to produce graduates equipped with the knowledge and skill necessary to engage in the field of health research ethics. Yeah. So have you seen just now, this program is developed through the collaboration between Faculty of Medicine, Mesti Malaya, and Burman Institute of Bioethics, Johns Hopkins University. And this program is supported by the US National Institute of Health Fogarty International Center. And part of the support that they gave is we are able to offer 10 scholarships for applicants from low and middle income country, but from Southeast Asian, right? So you know that LMIC, there are a lot of countries, but for purpose of this scholarship, it is only offered for those in Southeast Asian country. And the session intake for this year is in October 2021, and the application deadline is on the 25th of June. So the application system is open now. Later I'm going to just tell you about how the application process is. Okay, so this is the MOHRE program syllabus. Basically, there are 3 semesters. Okay, and in each semester, for semester 1, semester 2, you can see there are core courses and elective courses. So core courses is mandatory or compulsory, whereas for elective courses, you only have to choose 1, right? So the word 3 CR, 9 CR are credit hours. So most of the courses are offered as a 3 credit hour course, except for research project and practicum. Okay, so in semester 1, you have 4 plus 1, semester 2, 3 plus 1, and for special semester, that is the practicum. Or somebody asks about industrial training, you can it's more or less an industrial training where you are attached to either a researcher, NGO, or a research ethics committee, right? And it's only for 2 months. Okay, now, like I mentioned just now, it is offered as a full-time 1-year program. Okay, but in UC Malaya, there is this general clause where master program, you can choose to finish it within from 1 year to 4 years. So it's a blanket regulation that you cannot complete it in less than 1 year, but you can complete it in the next 1 to 4 years. So that's where the part-time comes in, right? We do not offer it as part-time in our officially, because when you use the word part-time, you are tied to certain criteria. Like you can only offer a few courses in each semester. You can't offer like this. There's a limit to the credit that you can offer when you declare a program as part-time, right? So if we say part-time, it'll be 2 years, it will not be shorter than 2 years. Full-time 1 year, yes, if you can do 1 year, can do a year, but you also have the option on taking only a few courses at each semester. For example, due to time commitment, because I know that a lot of people are working, and or maybe you don't have the scholarship, right? So you have financial commitment as well, financial constraint. So you may choose, for example, in the current semester, next semester, to only take probably 2 core and 1 elective, and the next semester also take what you think you can commit to, maybe 1 core courses and 1 elective. And the next academic year, you have to re-register and take the remaining courses that you have not taken. So once you have completed all the courses, as long as you complete it within 4 years, you will graduate, right? So that is the part-time of this MOHRE program. So you can choose to do like that. All right, so who are we? So I would like to introduce you to Professor Dr. Adiba Kamaruzaman. Right? She is the principal investigator of this grant from University of Malaya, and she is a professor of infectious disease. So people from Malaysia probably know her, especially in this pandemic time. She's quite a constant feature in social media as well as in news and newspaper. And from the Johns Hopkins University, we have Professor Dr. Jeremy Sugarman. Right, so we have our MOHRE Advisory Committee. Our MOHRE Advisory Committee consists of those from Malaysia, as well as those from abroad. We have people from Singapore, Canada, and US. So basically, MOHRE Advisory Committee play a big role when it comes to selection of candidate for scholarship, to make sure that we are fair to all our candidates who are eligible for scholarship. Later on, when I'm going to tell about the process, you'll see where they fit into the whole process. We also have education expert from UM. We have Prof. Esther, and from the John Hopkins, we have Dr. Sean Tackett. So they are responsible for assisting the faculty in curriculum development, as well as provide training workshop for faculty members. So these are the MOHRE faculty. There are a whole lot of us. Most of us are from University of Malaya. Maybe we have one or two from the industry. For example, Miss Munita from a legal firm, right? And majority of us from University of Malaya are from the medical faculty. We have two from law, this Dr. Shan, Dr. Fridaus, and Miss Krishna is considered from a CIC, that's from the hospital side, right? And Dr. Salim is from Faculty of Science from UM as well. So this is a diverse background of faculty. So this this is the first cohort. There are 9 of them, right? And we have people from Malaysia, of course, and 2 from the Philippines. And one of them is here with us to talk about her experience. And for this current cohort, right, we don't have the opportunity to meet them physically. So this is how we meet them virtually. So we also have 9 students in the current cohort, of which 3 are not from local, not from Malaysia. We have Rizky, who is from Indonesia, and we have Ulma as well as Jeff, who are from the Philippines. Right, let's talk about the application flow and process. All right, so you have to apply to the central application system at this, right? This is the address, and the deadline for application is the 25th of June. So once you apply, the MOHRE team will process the applicant's application and shortlist them for interview. So we will interview each of the applicants to get to know them, to make sure that they choose MOHRE for the right reason. Sometimes it might, because MOHRE is not something like medical, everybody knows. So sometimes they might not understand what's MOHRE all about, right? So once we interview, then the list is brought forward to the MOHRE executive team. We consist of us, and so have those from the John Hopkins University, where they will look into the appropriateness of the candidate. Once the list is shortlisted, it goes to the program advisory committee, the group of people that I showed you earlier from a different country. So this is mainly to see that, to make sure that we undergo a fair process in awarding scholarship to each student, right? And once we have shortlisted those who are eligible for scholarship, right? Then we will finalize the names. And there are 2 things here. One is admission, one is scholarship, right? Let's say there are 15 people who are eligible, but there are only 10 scholarship. So 15 will get the offer to have to join the program, but the scholarship will only be awarded to 10 people. So by the end of July, if we would have given the result of scholarship to the students, and we also provide them with the agreement, the scholarship contract to them. And in August, you are supposed to receive letter from UM, offer letter for admission from University of Malaya, and the class will begin in October 21. Okay, entry requirement. So this is the entry requirement. It is available at the website. All right. So this CGPA of at least 3.0 is part of UM requirement, right? and you can have a bachelor's degree with at least 1 year of working experience or an equivalent qualification. We all depends on, because things always change. So if anything that is we need to ask for a new one approved by Senate, so we will have we might have a different qualification being accepted and pass the entrance assessment set by faculty. So sometimes what happens is that the person who asks might not meet all the criteria that has been put here, right? So they will assess whether they should proceed or not proceed, or reject at the application stage, right? For example, you have a CGPA of less than 3, but then you're has been working in a research institute for many years, and we will discuss with the faculty, that there's a faculty member on whether we think that you can join the program or not. So this is the entrance assessment by the faculty. If you have met all these the requirements, so it's not an issue. This is only when there's issue. Language requirement: a non-Malaysian applicant whose degree is from a uni or institution of higher learning where medium for instruction of the degree is not English will need to have IELTS or TOEFL. If you are from the university, if your medium for your bachelor degree is in English, you can appeal for waiver. All right, these are the this will be available from the website, all the academic transcript, certificate, right? So I would not go much into here. All right, scholarship, because a lot of you ask on scholarship. There'll be 10 scholarship that I have mentioned before, and it's for LMIC region in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia. So these are the countries that are eligible, right? And each scholarship covers the course fee. You don't have to worry about the fees. Textbook, we have some money for the book, and study material, and research project support. Research project support is depending on what research you do. Sometimes your research does not need any financial there's any money, right? For example, if you're doing a second research, doing systematic review, you probably do not need money for your research project. So it's not it is on a need basis. For international student, additional stipend will be given. Okay, this is mainly due to the fact that it was planned for a physical class. So this international student have to come to Malaysia and settle down here. So a certain amount of money, one-off stipend be given to help them to settle down. Right? For example, they need for travel, initial travel, or they need some money for the rent for the first few months. So this is given for that purpose, for living expenses of international students who have to settle in Malaysia for the purpose of the course. So now with the online, I cannot really guarantee it will be available. It's something that we still have to discuss with our Johns Hopkins counterpart, right? And all complete application for the program will be considered for MOHRE scholarship. For example, if you apply for the program, you'll be automatically considered for scholarship, and we will process as if you're asking for both admission and scholarship, right? So there's no separate, separate pathway for it. And the scholarship being offered is offered for those who can do it full time. It's a 1 year scholarship. It is a 1 year scholarship, so it's only for those who can do for 1 year. And scholarship with money, it comes with a scholarship agreement, right? So it is a legally binding agreement for which we have to meet certain things. The most important one is to make sure that you pass. You cannot afford to fail in any of the courses that's offered for each semester, right? So like any other scholarship, the scholarship can be terminated if you fail to meet the requirement, or you may or may not be required to pay back what have been spent on you. right? Just to the scholarship does not have any bonding, but it have this, you have to meet this set of requirement. All right, so next I would like to call upon our alumni to share the experience of being a MOHRE student and how does this qualification, this program help them in their career. All right, so first I would like to invite Dr. Norizan, followed by Maylin. Norizan, over to you.
Thank you, Prof. Julia. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Norizan, Dr. Norizan. Actually, I'm working in National Institute of Health in Ministry of Health, Malaysia. So basically, I was blessed that I was introduced to this course by my Director of Institute for Clinical Research. And during that time, I'm actually the head for Coordinating Center for Clinical Research, which have 36 branches all over Malaysia. So after I went into the interviews and so on and so forth, then I be part of the so-called the MOHRE students, and it's a very good experience, I would say. In terms of experience, I would just do it as simple as possible. The first things that I will have the experience is I will say that I'm the veteranist. I must always call that I'm among the seniors people, because most of them are very junior to me. And then after that, I found out at the beginning it quite hard as well, because of I'm actually working. But Alhamdulillah, everything went smoothly. My directors and my team also helping me to go this. And when I'm actually with my team in MOHRE, I'm so excited to learn with them. And I've looking up before this, I think I'm quite looking at one angle or two angle perspective now, when I'm actually meeting with all those students, and also our lecturers, including Prof. Julia, and also the Secretariat Nisha and Tivia, who helping me a lot along the journey. And it's like a second family to me. Actually, the third one, my family, the MOH, and also the third one is the MOHRE. So the experience is very vast. I enjoy all the discussions. We talk. We are allowed to give opinion from different perspective. I'm hearing from me from Philippines, and we also have another colleagues from Philippines, which is PO. We have very vast background. Therefore, I think I have lots of things to learn. Even though I'm quite senior in Ministry of Health, not so, but it's things that I have enjoyed is always be with them, and they are quite supportive on that angles. And now I'm looking at things differently, and from the experience after I graduated from the MOHRE, it's actually all the things that I've learned in MOHRE is actually incorporated into my life now, and it also into my career as one of the Ministry of Health, and also a researcher. So now it's actually helped me a lot. If I would like to discuss, I would just going for RCTM, which is our core function. Research means now I'm engaged with the clinicians, and I've been given a task to look into the research protocol, review the protocol for grant, and so on and so forth. So I'm also given the advice on the ethics part, and also other than that, so will be consultations. I'm giving consultations in terms of the whole protocol, and also the ethics component, and so on and so forth. And now I'm in my team doing a co-curriculum that also part of it is I incorporate the ethics that I learn, and I share, and also what I've learned before. And in terms of management also, all those things that I've learned, the knowledge, the whatever that we have discussed, and so on and so forth, now also involved in develop policies and standard and SOPs for research. So I also incorporate all those the thing that I've learned. So I'm so blessed to be part of the MOHRE. And as I mentioned to you, all of this with their love, their passionate, they teach us, and so-called they give us support. It's not just a part of master, it's like a family. And until now, I'm so blessed that we still in and contact each time, like sisters and brothers. And my BFF here is May there. So we also like so-called extended to that. My mom also now call her as part of our sisters. So like a foster family to me as well. So thank you so much. I think that's all, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you, Norizan. I'm I've lost of word. I mean, I'm very happy to know that you feel that how you really appreciate how much this MOHRE have helped you, yeah, in your career. And I wish you all the best also. All right, so May, right? Are you okay, May?
Prof.
Yep.
Yes. Hi everyone. I'm sorry. I will not show my video. I have poor internet connection, so there might be times that I'll be breaking up. But could you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay. Prof. Julia, is it okay? I'll share a slide based on the questions I received this morning.
All right. Okay, so I'll stop my sharing. Yeah.
Thank you. So while pulling up my screen, let me just introduce myself. I'm Milin Zipagan. I'm from the Philippines. I was a research coordinator before joining MORI. I was working in Singapore for National University of Singapore. Then I quit my job to join MORI in Malaysia. Sorry, could you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to share my experience based on the questions I received this morning. So there's one participant who sent me a message. He's a Filipino doctor who's interested to join MORI. So I think it will be useful for all the international students to learn international student perspective about the MORI program. So, okay. So one of his questions is, how was my experience as international student? So at first I was anxious about moving into another country in Malaysia because I don't have much people. I don't have not that much people in Malaysia. I only had like my brother's friend and a former colleague in NUH who are currently staying in Malaysia at that time. But when I went to visit UM to find an accommodation, Nisha was the first person who helped me to find a place to stay. So I had a lot of support from the beginning, from the before even the start of the class until now. I'm still receiving support from the MORI faculty. So I have to say that it was intimidating at first to be moving in another country, but with Mori people, I don't think that you'd be feeling like a foreigner there. Malaysians are very friendly and approachable, and Mori faculty are the nicest people I've met during my education. They have been very considerate because I had an experience that I was delayed in starting the deadlines for my assignments. Um, for the expenses for studying in Malaysia, compared to, we know that Singapore has high cost of living, but compared to Manila, I think the cost of living there is lower. I was spending about my budget monthly is about 1,500 to 2,500. Before the pandemic, I was spending around 2,000 ringgit. But during the pandemic, I was spending less because we were just doing online classes, and we're not during the lockdown. We barely go out. So how was the living environment in in Kuala Lumpur. So it's for Filipinos here who are attending. It's like Manila, but it's better. There's less traffic. It's less crowded, and the people are courteous. They are very nice. They are friendly. So one of the question that was asked also to me was, is language a barrier in studying in Malaysia? In most people are talking in English, so you won't feel like an outcast when you're talking with with your classmates or with the faculty. We also had the subject Bahasa Melayu, so we could converse a bit when I order food outside in the restaurant, so I could speak in a bit of Malay. So I think we wouldn't have that much problem when it comes to talking with Malaysian people. So first of all, why did I choose to participate or join MOHRE? Because of my background in research, I was a research coordinator, but prior to being a research coordinator, I was a clinical research staff. I was a safety nurse in the Philippines for 3 years. So I think having that information about ethics, you'll get to be more curious what's going on the ethics part, like what is going on in the IRB. So like getting into that side of getting more information. So aside from that, I think there are more reasons to choose MOHRE and study in Malaysia. So is one of the best universities around the world. It ranked at number 59 in the QS World Ranking, and they are offering full scholarship. I didn't get to spend at least ₱1 just for the tuition fee. All were being paid. And even during our practicum, our expenses for the travel were reimbursed. And also because we were in Malaysia, we were also being given with stipend. So the amount of stipend was enough for me to cover my a few months of rental fee in Malaysia. And you get to learn from the best, from the lecturers and my classmates. So because the lecturers here are like the people who are known in their field, are experts in their field, and the diverse background of my classmates also. Not only did I learn from the lecturers, but also Dr. Nurizan has mentioned, like we get to go to class excited every day because we get to share our experience, our knowledge, and also learn from not only from our lecturers, but also from our classmates. So in the part of the career advancement, when you have a master's program, it's like there are many doors of opportunities that would open. Like you can go in the field of research ethics, but in my case, after MOHRE, I had considered like going back to Singapore, but because of the government restrictions, I wasn't able to return there. But I get a job in a CRO company in PPD as a CRA. So those are the things, and you can get a better negotiation when it comes to the salary because of your master's degree. So for the experience, the program itself was very useful. I learned a lot of things and my confidence improved. I used to be like this quiet type of person who's very shy, and I used to be intimidated in writing. Like the most that I could write maybe is a maximum of 500 words. And then I used to be intimidated when our lecturers give us an assignment of like 1,000 words. Like I was asking where on earth could I get those 1,000 words? But I end up like submitting assignments like 2,000 words, 2,000 words. So those are the things that you develop in the MOHRE program. And staying in Malaysia, which is a multicultural country, you get to experience different cultures. And as I said, Malaysian people are very friendly. And I've been lucky to be with the first cohort because I gained a lot of friends, and even I've been treated like a family, just like what the reason said. Like her mom treat her as like her adopted children. So we get to visit her also in Malacca while I was in Malaysia. So those kind of experience are something that you could only gain if you're going to if you're going to join MOHRE or going to study in Malaysia. So I think that's those are the best experience that I had. So I just want to share to you the pictures that I had. So this on the left side, that's my picture with Dr. Nurizan on my first few weeks in Malaysia. So she gifted me that dress. And on the right side, these are my friends. On the left side is my Indonesian housemate. That's Naida. And this is Grazel. She's one of our MOHRE alumni also. And this is Pio. He's one of our international students. He's also a Filipino. So thank you very much for listening. I'd be happy to answer your questions later if you have more. Thank you. Let me
All
just
right.
stop sharing.
All right, so just where we stopped just now. All right, so I know there's a question for Nurizan, but Nurizan will answer later. It's about how do you balance your life work, your work study life, something like that. I just want to go through some of the question that is being posted. Yeah. All right. So this one has been already been mentioned just now. So I'm not going to answer that again. And age limit, there is no age limit for scholarship applicants because there is no bond, right? For those who are quite from Malaysia, you know, there is always the age limit for scholarship with the government because they need to bond you. So that's why the age limit, but there's no age limit for MOHRE scholarship. Government officer, of course, Norizan is a government officer. How do they apply to HLP and can they do part-time? Yes, you can do part-time. Yeah, but I said you take more than a year, right? Should they apply to HLP program? This is for Malaysian. Yeah? This is a hadiah latihan persekutuan. I don't know how to say in English, but they need to apply it so that they can have full-time study. You can apply it. Should you apply it? It depends on your context actually. Because MOHRE, you are fully occupied for 2.5 days. If your working environment does not allow you to do that, for example, if you are a working doctor, clinician, you can't afford to be absent on 2.5 days every week for the next 1 year, right? So you have to apply HLP, right? So future career for a medical officer, yeah, you have Norizan. Norizan is a medical officer. So you have the opportunity to be, you have an advantage to be chosen if you want to stay in CRC, NIH, right? And entry requirement, I have mentioned it. Experience clinical research, well, it's not necessary, but it is an advantage, especially when there are more applicants compared to the scholarship. Can apply if I do not have a medical background? Yes, you can apply, right? I mean, knowledge is, everybody have the right to have knowledge. Yeah, but then we make sure that you have a purpose that why you apply for this, even though you don't have when you don't have a medical background, to make sure that you know that what MOHRE is all about, right? But when it comes to scholarship, of course, we are more particular. We make sure that we give scholarship to people who will utilize the knowledge in their day-to-day working, that can help them in their career pathway. Because this scholarship is for capacity building, right? So we hope that when we can help more and more people learn about research ethics, these people in their own way will help us to create or to develop a healthy research environment. Do you accept master graduate? Yes, we have in the morning session, we have PhD candidate who was in the first cohort. Any specific qualification or job experience? Well, if you are in the research line already, that will give you an advantage over other applicants, right? Fee structures is not a secret. It is all available in the MOHRE website. I think I asked Divya to put the fee structure in the chat box. You can check it on your own. Yeah, UM always display all their fee structures. All right, so somebody asked this and also asked this again in the chat box. All right, so like I said, MOHRE is 1 year 10-month-old program. All right, so any new program we do have to apply for MQA, And the normal process is that the first application you are granted provisional accreditation, which MOHRE already have. And within the next 1 or 2 years, we should apply for full accreditation, which we already have. So we do not have the full accreditation because it's just not time yet. The process that you have a provisional first, and then you apply for full accreditation. That is MQA, that is by Malaysia. Internationally, no, it is not. We do not apply. I mean, you have, at least you have to apply, you have to get the MQA full accreditation first before we could apply anywhere else. How will COVID-19 impact the quality? Yeah, it will impact. I mean, this is not in terms of the interaction, the physically. It will make a difference if we have this workshop physically compared to online. It will make a difference, right? So but each university try their best to prepare students as well as a lecturer for online learning process. We have no choice. We have to continue, just like the school. They have no choice, they have to make the best. So University of Malaya is committed to not to jeopardize the quality of learning, but it is different. Now, I've been teaching for the past 15 years. I will know it is different, right? It is not the same, right? But nevertheless, we are committed to provide the best online learning experience. What are the measures taken to highest quality teaching? Okay, like any other higher learning institute, there are always measures, quality assurance measures in place already, which is automated for every program. For example, every program we have its quality indicator, right? Every program will have external, it is mandatory to have an external reviewer at a certain time of the program. Every program must have curriculum review every 3 to 5 years. So the thing is already in place, right? And we also get student feedback so that we can improve delivery of the courses. Will be upcoming program be conducted online? I think there is a question on this. No. All right. So I don't know, right? You know, like this MOHRE program was developed to be a face-to-face, face-to-face program. It is never meant to be developed to be an online program, right? So whether once the situation is under control, depending on the instruction from the Ministry of Education, if they say we have to go physical, then they have to go physical. I don't really know, I can't really answer. So far, we have not heard any instruction from the university or from the Ministry of Education whether we can continue or we should continue online. I can't really say, yeah, because what if the instruction is a top-down thing, if they said we have to continue like face-to-face, we do have to continue face-to-face. I know it's difficult, but I can't guarantee either one as well. Yes, you can apply, but you make sure that you can commit as well. And you make sure that because when you're full-time working, you are being paid, you have that responsibility for the other organization as well. So you can apply, but you have to be responsible, be able to commit yourself for both of for your teaching, for your learning, as well for your working. Part-time, like I said just now, you can do it in 4 years' time. Right, further question. So maybe, is there any question in the chat box?
Yes, Dr. Julia, I can help read it out to you. So the first question comes from Carmen. So she's asking how many students to join this program in order for the faculty to start the program. How many? And if there are any hostels provided.
How many to start? I know I can't really, there's no real answer to that. But every time the university will monitor how many students registered for each of academic year. So I know a program that had poor uptake, right? They will phase it out. Right? For example, for the last 5 years, it's 3, 2, 1, 4. They will recommend that if we phase out in the next 3 years, there'll be no more program. That one I can answer you, but to start off, I don't think there is an answer to that, but there'll be a decision whether to stop the program or not, right?
Then she asked for the hostel.
Oh yeah, hostel. Generally, postgraduate student is not a priority. Priority for hostel would be for undergraduate student, right? So it's always for undergraduate because postgraduate students are naturally more independent. But if I'm not sure whether you are an international student, because there are accommodation for international students. But has a lot of international students, so it is on if it's available, right?
I can share the link for the Student Affair Division that lists out the hostels and so on. So it will be in the chat.
Well, Nurizan answered the chat on the.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So Norizan has already answered, but Norizan
Right.
would like to
So
share.
Roy, yeah.
And do so.
Yeah, so I'm reading up Roy's question. Are classes done every weekdays or weekend? All right, so the classes are rather fixed, I would say. So we have classes Wednesday and Thursday and sometime on Tuesday morning. So Wednesday is almost guaranteed a full day. Thursday also full day, and sometime we have on Tuesday morning, right? So those are the week is on weekdays because it's offered as a full time, right? And there's no weekend classes. Okay, we might do some courses, but as far as classes is concerned, there's no weekend classes. But you must remember that, it's not only attending the classes, it's about doing assignments. So even though the classes on weekdays, you might have to sacrifice your weekend to do your assignment, right? When I say part-time student, right? For example, we have the whole day Wednesday, whole day Thursday, and half of it on Tuesday. If you think that you cannot commit, you want to do it part-time, you may choose 2 courses, for example, for that semester. You end up maybe on Thursday afternoon and Wednesday morning. So you only attend those 2 classes instead of the 5 courses. So that's how it is part-time, right? For part-time, you choose, but you make sure that you complete the whole course, all the courses within 4 years.
Harman has a question on if the program has MQA accreditation or other international agency accreditation.
I think I answered that already just now, but because I have answered that.
Yep. So she also asked if it was advisable for fresh graduates from health science area without working experience to apply this program.
There is you have to know why are you applying it, right? Some fresh graduate already have that tendency to be in research, and he knows why he wants it and why he wants to do MOHRE, right? So you have to you can apply, but when sometimes you apply because you want to learn. So sometimes we can't really stop that. But when it comes to scholarship, you might be at disadvantage because we don't know whether we are willing to invest in a person who is not sure their career pathway. If you don't know where you're going, just want to apply because there's a scholarship, then you don't apply for it. Yeah, because otherwise you'll be wasting 1 year of your time. And that knowledge you don't use in your career, and you would be you'll be wasting on it's not good to waste the opportunity of other people as well. So if you don't have a purpose to do health research ethics program, then you don't apply. But I cannot say you cannot apply, right?
There's a question from Zoom user. I would like to ask about the industrial attachment, 2 months. Is it for those who are working full time? Can this attachment be done partly or must be done within the 2 months?
It has to be done within the 2 months because that is the structure. So it has to be done within July, August, September. And it is a core. When it is a core, it means that it is a compulsory, and it has to be, like any university degree or program, certain courses are offered in certain semester. So for now, the practicum or the industrial training is only offered in the special semester. for example, you for some reason you cannot do it because you are working, right? So you did not take the first this industrial training. You have to wait for the next round to come for it to be offered and do the industrial training. Otherwise, you cannot graduate because that is one of the mandatory course that you need to fulfill.
Joanne
Can
has
do
another
online.
question.
There's
Yeah.
a online wise, like I say, I cannot, because the reason why we go online because of pandemic. It is never meant to be an online course, right? So whether it's still going to be online for the next 1 year, I think it's all up. We all have to wait for the Ministry of Education or University Malaya instruction. And the reason, okay, there are possibility that they are online. Mean, if we want to convert this MOHRE to a real online course. But this is not as easy as just doing it online, become online. No, there is a process to it. And remember that we are in the midst of waiting for our full accreditation, because once you change, I mean everything is gone. You have to start again for MQA because there's a major change in the delivery. So we are not, yes, there is in our mind, but no, not until at least until the next curriculum review, we would think of fully online. Yeah? But this online is mainly because of pandemic, and it's like, you know, it is all very fluid. Yeah, it can just change. Yeah. Somebody asked me about a job prospect. I did, maybe you probably miss it, but I do have about.
Yeah, so this is on the OKU case.
Got scholarship for unemployed OKU. Well, there is no criteria for scholarship whether you are employed, unemployed, whether you are have disability or no disability. The main thing is that, do you fit in the program? All right. Is the program something that have change your, how does the program help you in your career development? Right? That is the main thing. Because like I say, giving scholarship is an investment for us to make sure that all the graduates are able to go out there and help us to develop this health research ethic in the future. So it is not about unemployed or AQU, it's about how do we think, how valuable are you in helping us, you know, to shape this health research ethic for the country.
Joanne asked about part-time study. Will we be able to see the schedule first before we choose the courses to attend?
Can we, Nisha,
Uh,
yeah.
I shared a link in the chat just now on course details. So there all the schedules are there actually for semester 1 and 2. So if you choose to pick any of the courses that you want, then you can go based on that, what day and what time it is. The details of the courses are also in each of the tabs in that website. So you might want to check that out, Joanne.
Yeah, and just to let you all know that two of the courses might be self-directed learning. So meaning that you are not, okay, online, just to be clear, when we say online learning, is like, okay, we give you something to read, we post it in our UM's learning Moodle. Okay, so you tell these are the reading material, these are my pre-recorded lecture, so it's already there. So you will look and read, and you know, sometimes we give you small assignment. On the particular day, Wednesday morning, we will meet like this. We'll meet, we discuss and ask question, you answer, discuss, and after that it finished, right? So that is the online learning that we are using now, right? So there's another one, online learning is where we give you the material, we give you an assignment, we don't meet like this. So there'll be weeks where you don't meet. So you do assignment, but you are to submit by the end of the week, that assignment, and we might probably just check and give feedback to you. So those are how we do online learning now.
The The next question comes from Xing Cheng. Can the graduate student of physical education apply for this project? Will this project take 2 years to complete?
Like so you can apply, just that we need to know where does it fit in your career. Why do you want to do it? Because those are one of the things that we will interview. We will ask you during interview because we want to know why do you want to ask it. Because sometimes what happens is that since this is something very new and it comes with scholarship, people are attracted, but they don't really know how does this program help them in their career, right? They have no prospect in the future. So we are worried about that because we do not want to invest in things that, you know, that you don't use, right? You spend 1 year study and you don't use it. But if you want to just simply, I want to just to know, well, you can, but probably the prospect, the chance for scholarship might be less. Will this project take 2 years? If you do full time, you take only 1 year, right? Minimum is 1 year. So you can complete it in 1 year. I am a specialist in area of ethics in OQUKS. Can I get scholarship? Everybody who applied, that I said, we will consider you for scholarship, right? Everybody, there's no guarantee, of course, because it depends on if there are 10 scholarship, there are 20 people eligible, then it's the competition, right? But guarantee, I cannot guarantee. There's always this selection process, remember? So there is this program advisory committee. They will look into all this, into all the applicants and decide that they really should deserve scholarship. So it is based on that. Yeah. So I cannot say cannot. Yeah, you can apply. We will, every submission we will process as if you're asking for scholarship, unless you decided that you're going part-time, because scholarship is only for 1 year. Yes, there'll be interview conducted for applicant. Like just now I said, once you apply, we receive it. The next step is for us to interview. So
Cheng, student actually mentioned, she actually commented something about the HLP, is it? If let's say,
yeah, Cheng, Cheng is one of those who actually ask or receive, right? Cheng, are you still there? Would you like to tell a bit more on it?
Yeah, actually, I'm the one of the student who's currently doing this course. I haven't completed yet. So I'm actually, by profession, I'm a medical officer who is actually engaged with clinical works more. So it is all boils down to what is your discussion with your head of department. So if you think you cannot actually manage it, as in you cannot every week you must take 2 days full days leave, and then one day would be half day leave. But because I'm more with a clinical works, I cannot actually commit myself to being absent for so many times. That's why at the end, after the discussion, of course, we also, that time also, I get to know that I get the scholarship. So I applied through Cuti Bergaji Penuh with the scholarship by MOHRE, and it's approved. Because if you apply HLP, there is some problem, is that HLP is something only applied once. So if you are going to further study in other program, there will be some problem if you wanted to apply HLP. But Cuti Pelajar is different. So you may go to the government website to go and have a look. What are their criteria? What are the requirements they need? And find which one is most suitable for you. So actually, there is a few things you can look through from there and then decide which one that suit you most. Yeah.
So can I add on from Ministry of Health? There are many mechanisms that can use. There are, we call it HLP with CBBP. And there are also, we call it CBBP with HLP, meaning that you get the cuti meaning that full paid, also called study leave with HLP. And for another one is we call it CBBP without the HLP, meaning what is Cheng get it is from the scholarship of the MOHRE. Another thing is you can also apply for, we call it half paid study leave, or you can also apply without paid, meaning without a salary. On my case, I've discussed with my human resource and also my director. We go for we have another options, we call it CKS, meaning that cuti kursus sambilan, which is you can attend such as 2.5 days in MOHRE with 30 days in a year. So you are going, but it is pro rata. If you go in September, so you may get about 10 days. On the other things is you have to be ready to use your annual leave, and so on and so forth. There are many mechanisms that actually you can, but you have to discuss with your superiors and also the human resource, because they will need applications, and also you have to get even though you are using the, we call it CKS, meaning set to attend a course, you also have to get black and white approval from the human resource. So there's many ways that I would like to share. Thank you.
Yeah,
Right.
I think what Dr. Norizan said, one of my classmates also applied the same. She is from CRC. I think she applied the same way to this course as well.
Whatever it is, as a government, you have to get the approval. But then is an internal discussion on how to, and I would like to add on for some questions how I balance between work and also have to have about 200 people under me. Is a discussion between your superiors and also your team, and you start to delegate your job, but when you go to work, you have to work without doubt. And then if you go to class, for me, it's like a going, not so called escape, but that's I learned, because in the work sometimes you have a different pressure. When you go to studies, I would go to class, I always enjoy. It's kind of like escape for me. And then I have two different environment, so then it's actually like a so-called rehab for me lah, I would say, in terms of your so-called your intense work and so on and so forth. Of course, there are sometimes that you will be saying that you will get works from your office, but as long as I think you have a good support system from your family, good support from my friend. They were always helping me and the rest, and also from the MOHRE faculty. They always said, never mind, Norizan, we can do it and this, but keep the good spirit. Always think that I'm going to graduate, whatever reason is, I'm going to do this. And I also inform my son, if your mother now still study, you must also achieve, motivate them. I'm working, I'm a mother, and I'm also a student. So you have to achieve more than me. I think it is positive ways. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Norizan. So when you decide to go for anything, right, it is your choice for me, right? And if it's your choice, you are responsible for your decision, right? So like you are being paid for your work, you do have to fulfill that responsibility. And you have a scholarship, you have to fulfill that responsibility. And I think that you are the best person to make a sound judgment, because we don't know how you life. We don't know whether you can escape for 2 or 3 hours from work without being. We don't know that, right? So you have to balance out everything. You have to think about everything. And like Norizan said, you do have to tell your superior, right? You cannot, I mean, it is not good. I don't encourage for you to think that you can go unnoticed while doing this course, right? You should not, right? So it is your responsibility. if you make the decision to go for anything, including this program, and there is commitment, it's not going to be easy. There are a lot of assignment, but if you have a purpose for this course, if you have to sleep at 2, you sleep at 2 because you know that, you know, there's something that you want to get at the end of it, right? Right, no reason?
Actually, being
Totally agree. Totally
there's
agree. I think what you need to do is if you commit to this, you have to schedule yourself. You have to plan ahead. For those who are having other commitments, many commitments, even though you are not married, you have other commitments, right? You have to strategize yourself. And of course, there will be sometimes that you will be, you know, you have to cut between two. But that's how you have to talk to your superior saying this, and this, and then talk to MOHRE how to have this. So far, I've never have encountered saying no. Everything is run smoothly. I believe on that. Yep. Thank you, Prof.
There's a question for Norizan by Chiu. The CKS is applied via own institution, human resource, or KKM?
Is through your, okay, so you have to write into your HR, meaning that in the hospital, you go for your hospitals. And you have to be through your head of department, because they need to sign as well. And then you also have like a support document, letter from MOHRE. And also there's also, you have to also have a schedule. So they know which, for instance, like last time we have a Wednesday and Thursday, right? So like that. So we have to send a schedule. So they were so-called calculated. And then the rest of it, they will advise whether you could have an annual leave. And sometimes our so-called we have like less than 4 hours. We can also negotiate, talk to your superior on that. Yep.
Thank you. So we have a few statements from Deng. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So I think he's interested in the program, but he comes from the special needs healthcare. So I'm not sure all of you are aware, just to put a note there, that this program is a coursework program. You have to attend courses. It's not a project. It's not a research project. Research project is a small component embedded as a part of the core component of the program. So Jerdang, I don't know if I'm answering your question. If you're wondering about a possibility of doing the program or answering a particular aspect of the disabled, what do you call that, health ethics and all that, we could potentially do it during the research project, but this is still a coursework. So if you have more questions, Jerdang, please email us. Divya has already put the email address there, so we can better assist you.
Yes, sure. You answer my question.
Okay.
Yeah, but just in case I want to contact any officer, like face to face, for better clarification and communications, if I'm not mistaken, MOHRE is at the health ethics. Health ethics committee, right? The office at Faculty of Medicine, right?
It is not. Okay. MOHRE is an academic program directly under the Dean's office. Right? I am from Department of Rehab Medicine, but it is not under Department of Rehab Medicine. It is under the Dean's office. There are a few programs that's under the Dean's office, and MOHRE is one of them. It's not under SPM. So if you want to contact us, you want to have, sometimes we do have this like this with an individual who wants to ask a bit more. So there is this, if you see your chatbot, there's mohre@um.edu.my. Yeah, you can email them and we can set a date for us to, for us to clarify things that's specific into you. Is that okay?
Answer my question. Yeah.
So there is the email there, yeah.
Yeah.
So Chiu asked Norizan again. I missed part of your explanation on CKS. You answered as apply via own hospital, right?
Yeah, okay. So it depends on where you work. Like me in Institute of Clinical Research, I have to go to the HR NIH. If you work in the hospitals, you have to go through your HR. However, when you drafted the letter, you have to go through your head of department. So head of department must be notified as well. And then, as I mentioned before, there will be a checklist. So one of the documents that you have to send or to provide is the offer letter, if you've been accepted as a MOHRE students, and also your schedule. So that from there, they will count the CKS, because it's not like, as I mentioned to you, it's a 30-day CKS entitled for 30 days for a year. So if you go for September, it's a prorata. So meaning you will get about 10 days. It's not totally 30 days. So that's the thing. So you have to liaise with the HR after you've been given approval. Then you have to give copy to the head, and also you have to so-called keep in your. We have our own file pribadi. We call it as the staff file. So if anything happen, then you know you are not in the office. You are actually going for a class, something like that. Yep. I hope I answer it. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other questions?
Okay. Maybe I just add on Prof, if you allow, and Nisha.
Mhm.
Yeah. Me and May, we basically have a physical and we have also virtual. So we have two things. To be honest, virtual is a challenging. But for the safety of everybody, it's actually convenient as well. Meaning that you no need to go and so on and so forth. But of course, what you need to have is to be in the group. Anything we always discuss in the group. Because they are who are the one who knows us, who knows what our and so on and so forth. So discuss with the group. Of course, maybe I think the second batch have no chance to meet physical. But I think you always have the other mechanism to talk through. So I think not in issues, whatever is the most important is the intention and the spirit. Keep it a positive vibe all the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Norizan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes some time to learn how to do online. And I think for those who are working, of you who are working, it might not be that difficult because you have gone through the pandemic for the past 1 year, where this type of meeting is something that you get used to. You know, I don't know how many times I have used Google Meet before the pandemic. It's probably, yeah, we do have meeting with overseas, with online meeting, but locally it's not something that you use, right? So it was difficult, I would say difficult to convert everything online, and it's not easy for us to teach 3 hours. So that's why we make it a point that we give you assignment to read and we come just for discussion, right? And yeah, it's not, but I hope that for you all, if you have to do online, it would not be that difficult. The transition is not there because we have transited all the way for the past 1 year. When you're working online is the thing that you have gotten used to, right? Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Like just now you have gone through what is the program objective. Maybe you have talked about what the overall aim of the program in the long terms, what you wanted to achieve. But can I know more specifically in the shorter terms, what you wanted to achieve in the end of this program, like the mission, the specifically the mission, or in this 1 year time, what you plan to achieve in your plannings, plannings. Any specific, objective you want to, plans you have to be follow the budget according to what is your planning in this 1 year short term time period?
I don't really get your question because this is not a
Um,
project. All right, so we plan that, of course, the MOHRE program itself is at the end of 1 year. We like any other program, we have the program learning objective and program, and each course have their own learning objective, right? So there is this, it's not a, I mean, a program does not have a vision and mission, right? So we want to produce graduate that reach certain competency, and that is available for each program, what they should reach at the end of the program. But
can I say is
budget wise, of course, this is run by grant, but the grant is mainly for the scholarship and for our, I mean, last time it used to be for our external people from JSU to come over and conduct workshop. But after the grant finish, it is just one of the program that Museum Malaya offers.
I mean,
But this
I
is not
mean,
a project, right?
I mean, I can say it's something like a KPI. KPI you wanted to achieve in this 1 year time, able to produce a very very competent graduates, have a skill and knowledge, and able to apply this. Huh?
Definitely is to produce competent scholars, competent student, and that is evident from when you pass. Make sure that you have reached the passing mark of every course. Yes, and we hope that this the graduate will use this knowledge that they obtain to progress their career. Let's how May and Norizan, what happened to May and Norizan, right? Of course, KPI, there's always a KPI for university, right? How many percent must pass, how many percent, how many percent must achieve the desired, those are our program KPI, Let's say 50% you fail, definitely that's not in our, we have not reached our KPI. Is that what you meant?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. Right. So Cheng has written something on online learning here. Mm-hmm. So there'll be challenges. It's not specific for MOHRE. Any other program that you take will be challenging. Yeah, they have their own challenges. Yeah. All right. Any other question? Otherwise, if you feel that you are satisfied, it's okay for you to leave. So that's the indication that we have covered most of what, all, if not most of what you want to ask. Otherwise, you can either unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat box.
The interview process is intaking will be done by this week. I mean not this week, but this coming week, right?
It depends on whether you have to apply first. Once you apply, then once you get everything is complete, then we will set a date to interview you. Whatever it is, you have to be, we interview as it goes on, as it goes until that we stop, until the deadline on 25th, there's no more application. Let's say you apply on the 23rd, we screen through and then we arrange for interview after that, right? So it depends when your application comes in.
The application fee is 100 ringgit. We can apply 3 times, 3 program, and we will get selected on one program, or we apply only one program.
I'm not too sure about that. I know that you can, you have first choice, second choice, third choice, but I am not really, I can't really answer. Do you know anything about that, Nisha? You can apply for 3 programs at any one time?
Yeah, first choice or second choice
Yeah.
or third choice?
How it gets selected, I'm not really sure whether
Yeah,
it
I'm
only
not
gets
sure
sent to
about
the
that
first,
either.
whether it's sent to all three programs or only go to the first. When the first reject, then it go to the second. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how is that processing like. Yeah. We only know when it goes to our place, we interview. Yes, somebody want to ask.
Yeah, I have a question. I don't know whether that question has been covered, but I think I lost in the midst of the presentation. So my question is about the eligibility. I recall I applied at the time for the MOHRE program, and then the eligibility does not really cover the African area. I don't know whether there's anything, maybe subsequently or in this current application, uh, covers is extend beyond the Eastern Asian region. That's the question.
I really can't hear you actually. You are breaking up and
We can't make up a
Okay,
yeah, I
thing.
can't make out what you asked actually.
okay. Maybe the question is that I had applied at the time
Yes.
Yeah.
and I discovered that the eligibility region does not cover beyond Eastern Asian area. In fact, I
Yeah.
was interviewed. So, but I think
I still can't hear you, but I think I know what you meant to say.
I think he left.
You apply, but the scholarship, as you rightly say, it does not cover beyond low middle income Southeast Asian countries, meaning that if you're from an low income country elsewhere outside of Southeast Asian country, you are not eligible. So that is because that is tied to the grant, so it will remain as such. It is for Southeast Asian country only. But you are also called for the interview, because interview has two purposes. One is for admission, one is for scholarship, right? So for admission, we still have to interview to make sure that you know what MOHRE is all about, and MOHRE is something that you really want to take, because sometimes you might have different impression what MOHRE is, because sometimes people always mistaken it has a bioethics, and this is MOHRE is about research ethics, not ethics. So there are differences. Ethics and research ethics, they are slightly different. So sometimes we interview the applicant for those things. Want to make sure that they are correctly choose the program, and number two is scholarship. So we still interview everybody who applied. There's no provision that said that non-Southeast Asian cannot apply. It's just that you are not eligible for scholarship, right? I hope I answer you. Because I really can't hear what you ask, but I think I can sort of gauge or guess what you want to know.
yeah,
I hope so.
maybe you got
Maybe you can type in the chat box, maybe, because yeah, you disappear. Well, all of you, all the participants, you have any question, you can still write in the chat box. You can unmute yourself. Otherwise, thank you. You can leave once you think that you have gotten what you need to know about MOHRE. Yeah, so that we know that we have covered whatever you need to know.
Hi, Julia. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there. It's Abdul Qasim Khan from Pakistan.
Yep.
Okay, so I've been attached with the CRO, Clinical Research Organization, since last 7 years. So this course is useful for me or not?
Do you think you have anything more to learn? Have you sometimes what happened is that in a country, right? In a country where you had the opportunity to learn about, to have a lot of courses related to what you are doing, you have achieved everything, then it's not useful to you. It depends on what is the level of your knowledge. But some people might have worked for 10 years, but they don't have the opportunity to formally learn about whatever their work is all about. Then it'd be useful. Do you need an extra qualification for you to advance that area? For example, medical officer in our country, you can work for 20 years, but will not reach to a certain level because you don't have a specialist degree, for example. So it all depends on that.
Yeah. And secondly is a long distance learning program.
At this point of time, like I said, there's no guarantee yet. The only reason why it is allowed to be online because of pandemic and our borders are still closed. There's no direction from the university about whether we can still continue like how we continue the past 1 year. And my greatest fear is that halfway through the semester or through the academic year, the university decided that everything will go as normal. So meaning that you have to come back here. So at this point in time, I cannot guarantee that you can totally be in Pakistan for the next 1 year until we get more news from the Ministry of Education. Unfortunately, we don't have the liberty to decide on that.
Got it. And the third one is Pakistan is eligible for the scholarship program. I'm asking about myself.
No, because you're not in the Southeast Asian. it's not Asia, you say it's Southeast Asian. Unfortunately,
Southeast.
no. Yeah, because this is a grant that is supposed to be capacity building, so it's very specific to country. Yeah?
In case I wanted to ask about your research center in PPUM, maybe in PPUM you have a Pusat Kajian Psychiatric is falling under CRC. Besides Pusat Kajian Psychiatric, do you have any other Pusat Kajian?
Okay.
Pusat Kajian in PPUM?
CRC is a different, CRC is not under University of Malaya. We are University of Malaya. So we have University of Malaya Medical Center. We have Faculty of Medicine. So those are the three players. So CRC is completely different. CRC, NIH, KKM are all another group, right?
Oh, I thought, I mean, sorry, I mean Clinical Research Center in UM. In UM, we have a Clinical Research Center?
We have CIC, Clinical Investigation Center.
Yeah, sorry, I see, correct. Investigation Center.
So CIC handle everything or research that is conducted in UMMC, clinical trials.
For example, I know you have a Pusat Kajian Psychiatric in PPUM. Besides Pusat Kajian Psychiatric, you have other kind of Pusat Kajian?
Well, research centers, psychiatric, I mean, there are a few research centers, like for example, radiology or diagnostic imaging. You have AIDS, you have the aging, the elderly people.
Oh, okay.
So if you go into University of Malaya, is under University of Malaya, you can see or you go to Faculty of Medicine, you can see the research center there.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember about psychiatric. They might have the addition center, something like that.
Yeah. They call it a Center of Addiction Science.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. All right. So. Yeah, I know. Yes. Olufemi, yeah, it is true. It is true that you will benefit, but unfortunately, when the scholarship is tied to a certain organization, then it is speak as that. For example, the Malaysian scholarship are only for Malaysians, so there's not much you can change about it. So because when you apply a grant, you said that this is for this. If you want to change it, you are obliged. You need to tell the grant that you need to change it, right? I mean, you are from research center, you know that there are things that when something is tied to the grant, you say going to do ABC, it's going to be ABC unless you apply to change to ABCD. So that is the situation with the grant now, right? It's not about whether MOHRE help you or not help you, but it's mainly that grant was approved for a certain area. Just like sometimes we are not eligible for certain grant because we are from Malaysia. So it's something like that.
Oh, this grant is not for Malaysian?
It is for
The grant?
Southeast Asian participant, applicant, Southeast Asian country, low middle income Southeast Asian country.
Or including Malaysia, okay.
Otherwise I wouldn't spend my time if it's not if not include Malaysia. Right? Yeah. So Olufemi, I'm just sorry about that. Yeah, but there are things that they are tied to us. Yeah. So how many are left here? There are only 9. So mainly Nisha, Noriza. Do you all have any more question to ask? Any of you? If nothing, then in 5 minutes time, probably we will end the session. Thank you for joining all of us, and hope to see some of you around for the next intake.
Sure. Hope to see you again, Prof. Julian.
All right. Okay.
Prof. Julia, regarding about the internship, the student can choose to do internship at nearby their classes, example in PPUM.
There is a coordinator for that, right? So like now the internship have to be done like from Philippines, has to be done in Philippines, but there's a process, right? You can do it as long as it's appropriate, the host want to take you, and then there are specific objective that both of you and the host have to meet. So yeah, you can be in PPM, can be out PPM, you can, for those who are in the outside the country, they can choose like Philippines, they can choose which they want, but then we will evaluate those whatever they have chosen. It's not that I choose and I get it. No. All right, so thank you. I think there's only 9 of us here. I think we can, right? I think we can stop sharing.
If there's no question for everyone, then we shall end the session.